Okay, how do you feel about the representation of people you identify with in media?
I feel like most of the people, like people of my color, are mostly in the background and they can actually have the potential to be the lead. And I think we also have this mentality we have grown with that we can lead, I can do this, I can be the director of a movie. Like, it's weird saying like Superman can be black. That's weird, right? But we actually can do it. So
Excellent.
currently, I think there's more. It's getting diverse in media. The people of color coming out. So I think if we strive more like to get into media and be in the lead, we can do it.
Or your perception of America before you got here, a lot of it came from films and stuff?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of.
All right. So, like, certain expectations of America. What did you do to kind of get yourself ready to be here?
Connections with people who are already here.
Yeah.
So we could like communicate.
Okay.
Watching news.
Okay. So you could say like some of the media from America helped you get yourself prepared before you got here?
Yeah, but I had a really different perspective of America. Like,
what is it?
Like I thought it's this place like I don't know how to say this.
Godly.
Whatever you want to say. This is not like when you're not trying to win an Oscar here right now.
Paradise.
Kind of like paradise. Like
Okay.
I didn't expect to find homeless people, like rubbish in the road. Like there are things I didn't expect.
So you thought it was a utopia, the perfect
Like
world.
let me say, I imagine America like Manhattan kind of style. Like,
Right,
I
everything.
wouldn't imagine like Bronx lifestyle. You think? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's really good. That's really insightful. It's very, very interesting how someone who got here recently, how they perceived it before they got here.
And most people back there,
That's not the whole thing.
they think America like you just go get money, and so like when people come here, they're like, when are you sending us money? When you're like,
Oh,
I'm
right,
like,
right.
you don't even know how we're living here.
Right. And what I'm discovering from you, all of you found information on how you visualize things, and it makes us see it from that perspective and encourages us to widen our point of view. And that's how you learn how to make a film, or how you learn how to create a story. Does anything inspire you, if you will, to say maybe you might want to get into the world of media? Anything that you can think of, like a film or anything? Maybe you watch it and say, I want to make something like it. I would like to change it.
Okay, maybe the action. I don't have a specific action.
That's fine.
movie.
Yeah, whatever you...
I think action. Like it's the one that lures me to get into media more.
Okay.
And maybe the movies with dance, because I'm more into dance and singing.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, overall media, like, just if you ever got any feelings about it,
I don't know. I never really saw anything. I mean, media-wise, I just don't see that too much. I always usually see, people defending, not the other way around, like, saying stereotyping or something like that.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What religion are you from? What's your religion?
Islam, Muslim.
Islam.
Okay.
And you don't see movies or nothing like
Oh,
that you feel
but-
like they're attacking them?
I have to zoom out and get both of you guys. Okay.
Oh,
Good.
well.
No, it's good.
Movies? Oh, I mean, like,
movies that they're like attacking them or anything?
it's a normal thing.
Oh,
So you never watched that movie,
It,
30 hours, something like that, but the Americans come and saving the
Zero Dark 30.
that
Oh,
one.
Yeah.
You never feel offended about that? How like they portray like
If
the
you haven't
religion
seen it.
otherwise? About how they use the woman to do most of the attack and stuff like that? Anything?
I never watched the movie, so I don't know exactly.
Oh.
I recommend it. You
Okay.
should watch
It is interesting how, I would think if you would wonder if media is only showing when they generalize Muslims in association with attacks on America, our conflict with the Middle East mainly, how that looks. I mean, look at the film. I saw the film. You might have known American Sniper.
Oh, I've seen the film.
I've seen American Sniper, and I'm in the military. You know, I'm a very patriotic person to this country, but you know, and I feel that nothing should happen to our soldiers. But do they only show one side of him? When I heard stories, bad stories about him, in my experience in the military, a lot of people think I'm Arabic, and my name and all that. And I've been through a lot. You know, I was during September 11th. I was in. You know. So a lot of Americans had a lot of animosity when they were media presented Middle Easterns as the terrorists.
Or even the show Quantico.
Oh, I
Just
haven't.
because she's Middle Eastern, she's automatically the terrorist.
Right.
They bombed everything.
Yeah. So I've had those experiences, and I honestly, I'm gonna say something though. And again, I had the same response you do. You know, like I don't see it that way. You know, it is what it is. Sometimes, but it was also a withdrawal. Because me being amongst in uniform with Americans and Americans saying, man, if you weren't in that uniform, you'd look like one of the guys that we're up against. And I'd say, well, if we're losing, I'm going to have to just take one of the guys I killed and put on his clothes and be like, okay. Right.
Too soon.
You know what I mean? Or I might be the one to save your ass. So, too soon, right? But yes, too soon. But so it's just an interesting thing we're bringing up because a lot of films, are very patriotic. Action films promote our patriotism. Captain America is not just an Avenger,
There's there's not a lot of Dominicans in films or anything, but especially white Dominicans. So like Dominicans are like obviously we're all together in that, like we're all united, but I don't ever see somebody that looks like me exactly.
Okay.
I could like like I connect with the Dominicans that are because I'm super proud of being Dominican, but
Plátano power.
yeah, not like me. I do connect also with other ethnicities, so it's it's all around.
Okay, I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
It's really because since you say you're Latina, so like yesterday I was just watching E! News. I like to gossip, so I was watching it, and then they were talking about like how like the Latina, like how like the movies portrayed the maids as always angry Latina women. How do that make
maids as angry Latina women?
Yeah. Cause like there was a lot of stars. There was like a lot of stars like in Eva Longoria and stuff like that. There was really like it got to them because that's what everybody think of when you think of maids, like angry Latina women.
Okay, this is the first time I've heard of that, but I can understand why they do that, but I don't think that's right. It makes no sense. It's just a stereotype.
Is it a stereotype?
It's not.
Because they were all angry.
Yeah.
And that makes
It's
us angry.
not all of us are angry. We might be angry about things that are happening, but we're not all angry.
Okay.
But can you speak on the things that we're angry about? Because no one ever wants to talk about what.
Right, yeah. We're not just angry about like we have to like like they're saying that we're all mates, but like we're actually really angry about like how we're put in this like lower level of everybody else, and we're just trying to speak out and nobody listens.
Listen, okay. That's a reach to you. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
They view us as like below, downgraded. That we're not really worth a lot. Oh shit, I'm nervous, bro.
No. This is good. Don't worry about the camera at all. Talk. You mess up all you want.
A lot of shows that like see us black or minorities as we're like really below. They're like the most superior people.
Okay.
Like we're not really up to their level yet of the work ethic and all that. So we're just supposedly down low.
May make you like inspired to make a movie or a show.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I would. Like if anything, I would just. Whoa, there's a movie, right?
Okay.
It's coming out, but there was a movie talking about how they're gonna basically take us to the hoods and show us everyday life, what goes on in the wood. But that movie is really backward because that's not how really. That's what.
Wait, they're gonna take you to where the
I mean, like the hoods.
the
like,
hoods?
Like projects and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
It's coming out, but like I forgot the movie name, but it talks about how we do our everyday life, but the movie is actually backwards. That's what they want us. That's what they want people to think.
So you would like to remake that movie and do it the
Yes.
way you feel
Yes,
it should be done.
Yes.
That is perfect. Perfect. All right. So thank you, Maury.
0% Hispanic people.
Yeah.
To be
Any
honest.
ethnicity.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we're always either the maid or the side chick or the one that's trying to stab the other girl. 'Cause, you know, we're always the pimps. Excuse my language. We're always like the pinks, the stripper, the one with the honey boo boo name type. Like, why? Or like, we're always the one getting beat. And not all Hispanics get beat.
Yeah,
That's
so
like-
my question is to what about like those people that do this because they see more Hispanic people like that, or they just off their
They're
head?
just, it's not off their head. That it happens, it's everyday thing.
Mhm.
But I feel like not all Hispanics are like that. Not all of us are, loose, basically. We're not all mad all the time. We're not all letting guys walk over us. We're not all the pimps thought. We're not always the side chick or the side piece.
Okay, just
I would like to see a movie with like a Hispanic being the president's wife, or she's not, why does she have to be the drug cartel main person? Why can't she be the owner of one of the buildings in Broadway?
ooh, nice. Keep that in mind.
Like,
Keep that in mind. And that will be all today, ladies and gentlemen, for the Maury Show. How do you feel about the representation of people you identify with in media?
I feel that we're really underrepresented. So like even when we are included, where like she had said we're someone's mistress or someone's prostitute or we're the chola, which is the Mexican like gangbanger woman, yeah, or we're part of the cartel, whether it's the Colombian one or the Mexican one or whatever, and then like it's always the drug dealer. It's never like you never see a woman or male from Wall Street that's Dominican or Hispanic of any culture. It's always, oh, you work for them, you get their coffee, or you plan their murder or something. Like you never are the lead, and even then, like it's really, and if there is another person of color as a lead, it's usually a black person. You're never gonna see like the Hispanic lead.
So you telling me because the black person is another lead, that offends that because you're not the lead still?
Because it does, because like if we ever do get a lead role, it's because we gave it to the black person, so why not give it to the Spanish person too? So it's just like, if we gave them a chance, of what the hell, like let's please the people and they'll get more ratings. It's never about like us.
Okay,
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
take it.
Yeah. I would like to say also that we're talking about Hispanics in like American films, but Hispanics have their own like world that nobody Americans don't know about, obviously, because the Spanish it's like way beyond what we know.
Yeah, like the
I mean, just that we're misinterpreted in American.
Yeah, like the novelas, right? Those.
Yeah, like it's a whole world. It's a whole other world.
Those shows really get your guy. Like
It goes beyond novelas. Like that's how I explained it before in this class. They start off in the novelas. They get famous. They get their own fan base. They get enough money. They produce their own movies. They produce their own TV shows. Maybe they go back and produce another novela to bring someone else up into the industry, and then maybe they try American film. If they fail here, it doesn't matter because they have their own fan base. They have their movies, TV shows, whatever. They don't have to make it successful here to be successful.
so why are you mad?
No.
But I feel like But I feel like, but like that's only like we're only famous in our own world. We don't branch out of our own Hispanics. Like we don't we are not famous
We don't
in other
represent
countries because we're only famous in Mexico or Dominican Republic or in the Caribbeans or South America. We're never famous somewhere else.
Okay, can I just one question? Do you know this guy named Anthony Baratis? Anthony something?
Something. That's a nice way to ask.
You know the amount of Anthony.
No, like Anthony. Oh my
You know
god,
how
he's
many
like
Anthony's
the,
there are?
the Max of Zorro, the guy. Anthony.
Yes.
Oh,
Antonio
Zorro?
Banderas.
Antonio
Banderas.
Banderas.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
so you're telling me because that guy's known around the world, like he's really.
And how long did he have to build up his career before he's known now in American film? And he made it now big in his middle age. He's like 50, 60 years
Well,
old.
but that movie made him really like that
One
movie.
movie
Yeah.
and one guy. And how many Hispanic actors are there?
And I'm sorry, I just want to cut it real quick. You don't have to get the camera on me. No camera. No. I was going to bring up that film, The Mask of Zorro, which is a Mexican story. And even when they've done it and redone it in the past,
It's whitewashed.
so it's usually a white person playing Zorro. And when they finally did it with the great Antonio Banderas, he was tamed by Anthony Hopkins. So if you watch it really closely, Anthony Hopkins was the original Zorro who whips him into shape. So it's pretty interesting if you really watch the movie closely.
How do you feel about this whitewashing thing going on?
I feel that it's very offending, mostly because they do it and then they justify it right after. So like it wasn't just, you can't just admit that you did it and take responsibility for it and like fix your issue. No, you tried to justify, we did it because of this, or we did it because of this. Like no, just take it and that's it. Like leave it at that. Why do you have to justify your actions and then play the victim card? Like you had to do it, or your hands were tied. No, you did it, that's it. Solve the issue, move on.
Wow.
Thank you very much, Erica, guys.
They put us in a bad light. Like, they show our stereotypes and don't show how we really act or the things that we really do. So.
All right. Cool. Films. What was a film that you saw recently that you really liked or you sought out to see? Creed, okay. Is there anything you watched that might have inspired you that was a good representation, made you feel you could get involved in media, some film or anything that you might have seen that made you think about that?
It has to be Creed.
Creed? Very good. All right. You know the director of Creed was a black man?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. And it was part of a big American franchise, the Rocky franchise. So definitely good inspiration. All right. Excellent. Thank you, Brianna.
How do you feel about the representation of people you identify with in media?
Well, as a young black male, I don't like that we're always portrayed as gangsters or thugs or people out on the street doing bad, when I have a lot of friends who are out here in like the fashion world. They're skating, they're doing things that are not black. So I don't like seeing that too often.
While you think about that, can you speak on any positive representation you've seen lately? Whether it's mass media or on a small scale?
Positive
Of
representation.
young black men?
In Viceland, I don't see too much of it, but I see enough because there is a show, I think it's Vice World of Sports, and it's hosted by an African American guy. And then there's another show on Viceland, which is somewhat like Noisy, which is documentaries on music people. But this guy is in the streets, and because he's been locked up and he's changed his life around, he's doing documentaries on people who are in the streets and doing all that type of stuff.
And I mean, now we're finishing up. Sorry, I want to add to Micah's thing. I watch a lot of Viceland, and Viceland's studios and their central office is in Red Hook, Brooklyn. They're a new company. I know some people work for the network, and but the large majority of the employees there and the creators are young white hipsters. And I know they're very concerned with social issues, which means people of color is a big part of social issue. But why can't we be our own vice?
Right, yeah.
So I want you guys to understand that too, and that's what we're talking about in this session. It's like, maybe look what you're doing now. All you need is this. And if you don't have it, you do have phones. So I want you guys to see how little resources you need today just getting together and doing something is what's most important. And how many great interviewers we have and personalities, jeez.
Yeah, that's a really valid point when you watch things like Viceland, to think of the privilege that the non-person of color has to even go into these communities and talk to folks and then leave. When the interview's over, the white person is done.
Yeah.
And we stay where we are, living the lives and the experiences that we have. So that's really important. And to really think about how easy it is to pick up a camera and speak to someone. Because the questions we have for each other, no one is going to think of those questions. We can identify with each other. So Viceland is dope, but I know that if it was people like us who were running in these streets doing those documentaries, it'd be a totally different experience and report back.
Right. So that's very important for you. This is what that's, it's like a very young and startup thing, and it's great that you brought that up. It's a great example of what you all can possibly do. No summer job. All right. So
How do you feel about your representation with like the people you identify with in media?
I feel like the world has brainwashed us throughout media with the idea that race is a label. Like for example, directors won't hire our kind of actors because they're afraid that their movies won't get high ratings or views or more,
How do you feel that this class has helped you like change the way you see film or TV shows?
I feel like it has taught me that how the world works based on your race, and that you could do a lot of things with a camera or with media.
We're becoming self-aware.
all right.
How do you feel about your representation in media?
The way I feel about it is, I guess it's 50-50. It's never portrayed as we would want it to be or as we would assume it to be, because it's always like, in media, it's always that white man they put first. It's like, what happened to the black, the Latinos, what happened to the other ethnicities? Because that's like, really, like, what the hell? Like, you're doing big in media, 21st century, you're supposed to be flying cars here, 2016, there's nothing. Like, what's going on? We're just like so far behind with everything, and now the media's trying to catch up to it, and it's like, they're still not doing a good job.
True. And when we are represented, we're always the drug dealers.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel that this class has changed your view of media?
It didn't just really change it, it added more to it. I guess it just added more, it gave me more information about non-whites, how they're portrayed in media, and if you actually research it, you're gonna be there a while researching it just to find a couple of people. And I've looked, and I've probably got like one sheet was like, 56 top African artists, but then they're forgetting about like the little people. It's like, what's going on with them? I didn't see no Chinese people there, or like Asian besides Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. Like Jackie Chan has a new movie coming out. I don't know if you guys seen the trailer.
Is he a lawyer in the movie?
He's kind of like, it's a Jackie Chan movie that's coming out. It's based in, like, it's in Hong Kong.
Is he doing martial arts? He needs to do movies not doing martial arts. I mean, how do you feel about the representation of people you identify with in media? When you see media, how they represent people that you feel that are like you?
We're always portrayed as a bad person, as like the negative person, the person to stay away from. I don't really pay attention to that, but that's the thing I notice the most. We're always like the bad guys. Well, we're never the person that always survives. We always die first. Yes, things like that.
When you've been here the last week, did you notice anything different? You said that because you said that you don't really pay attention to it, but you do notice that feeling. Did you see anything different from sitting in here with us for a couple of days?
Like, could you?
It's like, did it, being in this class, did it like change anything or add on to what you already thought about media?
Oh yeah, it did. Like, yeah, it did. It made me kind of realize everything about how they treat our race besides the white race,
Right.
in movies.
Like how little representation we have as far as the movies we like, right? So that's
What's some representation of folks you identify with that you actually want to see?
I think we should have them as role models instead of having one, at least like one race just always winning.
Cool. All right.
How do you feel about the representation of the people you like identify with?
I'm pretty exhausted. It's really cheesy at this point. It's really tacky. I think there's this idea of one Puerto Rican woman that's kind of just been like reworked and vomited into the media. So I'm a little over it. I think there's this whole like Rosie Perez thing. I don't know if you know what Rosie Perez is. We can talk about that another day. But I am not Rosie Perez, but I think folks want to believe that we're all like Rosie Perez. And she's cool. That's just not the reality.
Wait, is she? Do they like which type of media is she associated with?
So Rosie Perez is an actress. She's a Puerto Rican actress. I believe she's from the Bronx or maybe Harlem. I'm not sure. She kind of talks like this a lot. We all talk like that. It's not really. So.
She has a very animated personality
Totally.
on media.
And a lot of our family members do. She reminds me of many people that I know. So there is like this nostalgia thing when you see Rosie Perez, but when that idea then becomes the mold for all Puerto Rican women, it's like no.
So she's like a role model.
She is for some. She's kind of like you know how someone says Puerto Rican and folks think of J-Lo? She's like, we all think of Rosie and J-Lo or Mark Anthony. And that's just like a piece of the Puerto Rican pie.
Yes.
So, what have you picked like from the previous, like what we have been learning about?
Like in the sessions, did you pick up anything?
Have you learned more?
Oh yeah, no, I've learned a lot. I've learned more about the nonsense that is going on
That's exactly
in our film industry. There's so much. I feel like he has said so much that I have tried to hold on to. So I've learned a lot about the zombie.
Yeah.
The zombie genre and the influence of just how I didn't know that zombie genre was a critique on really black folks in America. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but I hadn't put two and two together about the apocalypse and black folks and what's gonna happen when things hit the fan and just like
I could do a whole class on that.
Yeah, I know.
A whole week long.
That's the main thing there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, friends. All right, Lynn.
Oh, okay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Monday, weekend's over. You know, I'm doing good.
So what's your name?
My name is Shem.
Your age?
My age, everyone, is 42.
Okay. If you're okay, what's your ethnicity?
Classified, yes, I am classified. I am tripartisan.
Wow.
At times.
What does that mean?
Meaning I just blend in.
Okay. What's your favorite?
Or blend out, too.
Blend out.
Okay.
What's your favorite type of film?
Horror.
Horror?
Yes.
What you like about horror?
Just, it's like an escape from real horror. So it does make you think of, like, it's the idea that I grew up and lived in a society where you had mostly everything you needed. You know, there are struggles, but, you know, when you still have a privileged life for the most part. And you watch horror, because in the back of our heads, we all think of our demise. And you watch horror because you can see it and not pay the true consequences. So that's why I say it's an escape from real horror.
What's your favorite TV show?
Oh, I would say favorite is, it's not my favorite, but I watch it, I'm studying it, The Walking Dead, South Park, and Dinosaur Train, because I watch it with my daughter.
Social media, did you use them all?
I have other people have my social media accounts, and they handle all my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So I don't even...
You're fancy.
Yeah, I have other people on payroll for that one. Once in a while I check it, but I don't even use it for my own personal, thing.
So where you get your news information?
News 12 and The Block.
Do you believe in it? Do you think it's true? How do you feel about the representation of people getting fired?
Oh, okay. Well, this is what everything was about, and to me, I feel that we've been blindsided. People have, and as hard as people other than white have been blindsided with especially we're talking America. In America, which is one of the entertainment and media is one of the biggest resources we produce. We've been blindsided in the sense to think that what we do is low class or not as elite as some of the. We're not put on that level of great respect in media that. And what we also been blindsided with is the fact that sometimes it's our really gaudy, tacky things, our action movies, our horror that really drive the whole industry, and we've been pushed away from it, thinking that we have to be taken seriously, and we have to. It's like yes, you do have to be taken seriously, but sometimes you can take that chance. Always value yourself, but you don't always have to be elite and so prestigious. Because while we're trying to do that, they're making big money and doing big franchise off of other things, and we're kept away from it. The fun part. We're kept away from the fun. And if we are having fun, we're looked at as bad.
Do you think we can do something about that?
Yes, so you can give everyone more awareness to open their minds to using the resources, and the mistake that, let's call it the powers that be, they've made it more available with technology to give everybody almost an equal chance to have their own sources of equipment and things, the material that they can use to jump away from, the standard structure of growing up, getting a job, over getting an education in most of our communities, and making us realize that we can actually, instead of that, get together and do our own projects, and they don't have to be very elite and very prestigious. They can be fun. They can be interesting, because that's what drives our society today. Movies about comic books and superheroes and horror and things like that. But we're led to believe that we have to stick with rap music and sports and certain things when we can be doing all those other things. We're not limited.